dearly, brightly, and enjoyably welcome all of you. We are now here for you. I will mute everybody, but before I mute everybody, you can just yell hello and clap your hands so we can hear you.
Hello,
Go ahead.
hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
morning.
Like my grandmother would say, that's enough. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Gunilla, take it.
Yeah, so we are very happy to have you here again. For most of you are here for the second time with us, and some have come for the first time, but have experience from before, like some of our colleagues from Greece, where we have been working in the refugee camp. So some of the friends there. So if you all raise your hands who have some connection to Kitrinos and the TTT in Lesbos, yes. So we are quite some few here. Great, welcome. Happy to see you again, or see you for the first time, because I haven't met all of you in person. So that's great, and all of you, the others are all. Everybody is most welcome. So we would like to start just with, of course, one of the exercises, so that we center ourselves wherever we are in the world. So if you just sit up, and as Satguru says, have your spine comfortably erect, meaning that it's not too straight, but it's definitely not hunching down. Straighten it up, since all those nerves go out from the spine, and they need space, and they need to have some room for all the activity in there. So, and your feet in the ground, or in the floor, or wherever you have your feet. Okay? So, and then we'll just do first some breathing, and then we'll just do one of the tapping rounds, since we need to practice and repeat and practice and repeat. So you start by just breathing in with your nose. Start breathing in. Hold your breath for a while, and then breathe out with a sigh of your mouth. Breathe out. And again, you breathe in with your nose. Hold your breath for a while, and then breathe out with your mouth. And then you can just close your eyes for a little while, and then you scan through your body and your mind, how you're feeling right now, what is the state you are in. So just, check in about where you are, and if it's something that is uncomfortable, is something you're bringing with you, or whatever you have inside, and just like rating your level of, call it discomfort or stress, or and then rate that from 0 to 10, and then you can hold up your fingers on the number you have, just so that you can see where you are right now. Very good. And then you can just take a deep breath again. So you breathe in and breathe out. And then you can focus on whatever it was that came to your mind that in some way or another stress is stressing you or feeling uncomfortable with. And then we just do the tapping together. So we start here on the side of the hand. And Ulf, will you join us also? So it is like 10-15 times. I'll take off these glasses.
I need to tap some people from the waiting room.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Are they coming? And they're finding the door to be open. That's good. And then here you put your thumbs on your temples, and you do this crown pull, as we call it, or massage for the frontal lobe, as we also call it, because that's how you get your frontal lobe a bit more online. Okay, and then you tap here on where your eyebrows start, just above your nose, like 10-15 times. Just follow me. And then you go to the outside of the eye, you tap it here, the temple, and bit out to the bone outside the eye. Very good, excellent. And then you go down to the bone under your eye, to the small hill top. Okay, and then with one hand you go under the nose, and most of you know this already, but sometimes it's good just to do it together. We are joining on from many places in Europe and in US and Australia, so probably other places we will find out very soon, and because we're going through this now together, and doing things together always makes things a bit more, giving it more energy. Okay, and then you go down to the chest. I have to put on my glasses so I see you. So over the chest, all over, and then you put your arm on your shoulder, and then you tap on the side of your body, on the side of the ribs. Very good. And then we go to the fingers. We start with the little finger, and then the ring finger, the long one, the majeur, and then the index and the thumb. Wonderful. And then we go back to the chest. I'm sorry if it's bumping too much on my microphone. It's to hear the bumping. Okay, very good. And then you release your arms and put them on in your lap, and then you breathe in through your nose. Breathe in. Hold your breath for a while, and then breathe out. And then again, you breathe in. Hold your breath for a while, and then breathe out. And then you repeat on the other side. If you remember which side or which hand you started on, then you'll do it on the other. And if you don't remember, it doesn't matter. Just do it on one of your hands. Okay? Perfect. Because this, as we say, this tapping is very generous. It doesn't really care whether you do it exact, but better just do it. And from there, again, you go to the forehead, some massage on the forehead. And then tap, 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 above the nose. And then follow the eyebrows to the outside of the eye. And don't forget to breathe while you're doing this also. You can even have breathing, breathing on each tapping. Okay, and then under the nose. Onto the mouth. And then on the chest. Very good, looks brilliant. Excellent. And then on the side of the hand, the body, it says, on the side of the chest. Great. And then the tip of the little finger. And then change to the next. And the next. And the next. And the next with the thumb. Okay, and then back to the chest. Sorry. Great. Very good. And then again, do the breathing. So you breathe in, hold the breath for a while, and breathe out. And again, breathe in, hold your breath for a while, and then breathe out. And now you can just close your eyes again, and then you go back to what you discovered in the beginning before we started, and what you rated, and just check now if there's some difference or if it's the same or whatever, and then you can hold up your fingers just to see where you are now. That's because everything of when it comes to healing or changing starts with self-observation. You have to observe what it feels like. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. And now you can take a deep breath in, breathe in. And on the out breath, you come back to the room and to the rest of us. Wonderful. Well
We
done.
welcome the people who joined us during the tapping. Those of you who were in the waiting room, we've been letting people in all the time. But since we already started this, sometimes it takes a minute or so before we notice that you're there. So if you drop out, don't worry, we'll get you back in.
Yeah, and it's always good to communicate on the chat. As long as you're within Zoom, please write in the chat and we'll see it. Okay, good. Yeah, so please go ahead. We'd like to hear a bit what you have done since we last saw you.
Yeah, so if you want to unmute yourself and share something, or if you just want to write in the chat, you know, that what's been going on, have you been trying it, doing it every day? Thanks, this is Dallas. That's fine.
If somebody can raise their hands if you want to speak out.
I experimented when I had a headache. I had a 3-day headache, and I tried havening and it didn't shift it. And then I tried tapping and it reduced it a little bit. This is like an 8 out of 10. And thought, oh, if I do another round, maybe it will shift it again. So, and then I just kept going. I just kept going round and round and round, and I reduced it down to 0. I was ecstatic. And then as I did it, I noticed that my sinuses were draining as well. I thought, of course, because they're acupressure points as well. And so it must have been partly a sinus headache as well. So I've been doing it every day and telling everyone I know that gets headaches, try this, it works really well.
Wow, well done. That's fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you. Yeah.
Simon says that used it with a number of clients as standalone sessions, and also tried it as a distraction in a havening session, works brilliantly. Shared it with your networking group as a tool to use during this time. Wonderful.
Great. Somebody else want to speak out?
Waiting for that, I'll read Tanya as well. Can you do this with someone else who is not there? That's kind of like a surrogate tapping, which it is when you do it for somebody else. But what you mean is probably that they are not present or don't even know that you're doing it for them. And I believe, yeah, of course you can. What the effect will be, we'll have to find out.
Yes, I think Suman wanted to say something, or you were raising your hand. Yeah, so please, Suman. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I actually found it really useful while using essential oils. Like the peppermint essential oils really helped to sort of clear up my headache. And if I was going through something really stressful, I found water. Like even if I'm just in the shower and just letting the water fall on me and using the tapping, it gave it like a different sensory experience that really just it calmed me down a lot faster than I thought I could get calmed.
Okay.
It's really
that's great. That's great. Yeah, and that's what really is cool. It's like combining it with other things that you're doing and that you like, just to enhance, the effect. So thank you so much, Suman. Somebody else was raising. I think Amy is showing her bear. Do you want to say something about it, Amy?
I created a bear with the TTT points.
Okay, great.
And I use it. So I can use it with people, but I also use it for remotely.
Okay, great. That's nice. Thank you.
For fun.
Yeah, for fun. That's good.
I'm still waiting for somebody to tattoo the points with numbers on their face, you know.
Yeah, yes, and the rest of the body. Yeah, oh, that's good. Somebody else wanted to share something? Any of you without image want to say something? Then just unmute yourself and say something.
I don't think Amy means surrogate tapping. I think Amy, you're using the bear to show the points.
I do both.
Yeah.
I do both, and remote healing, and for others.
Okay. So you're tapping both on the bear and you also have to. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. So there are others who shared with key worker to share with colleagues, continue with case studies. Yeah, that's great. And I know also already, where do I have you, Taya, who already did the certification already from last time. Perhaps you like to say something. I saw you here somewhere. There's so many, many of you. Are you here? Anyway. Yeah.
I have a small question. I've done it for a long time. I always forget to do it, but then this is a good reminder because it really helps me.
Okay.
I wonder, it's a small thing, but is there any difference if you start with the small finger or with the thumb? Because I used to start with the thumb.
I mean, for us, it is like we do it in one order because we have seen that worked. But then we have to make material to teach this, and we make videos and everything. So it is like, it's not that we say that, oh, if you don't do it in this way, it doesn't work. No, not at all.
Okay.
So, not at all. Just do it and use as many of the points as you like, or if you want to add something. But yeah, for us, it is that we have used this sequence and we know it works. So we have no reason to, change. Sometimes we change something.
No. Yes, of course. I don't know from where I got this to start with the thumb, but anyhow, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But a question here is, now everybody is saying that you were that you have been having good experiences. It would be nice to know if anybody had something else happen, like nothing happened, or you didn't understand what happened, or any questions that popped up as you were doing sessions.
Silence.
Only success.
Okay. Yeah, so here is, had been doing EFT with clients for a while, but have enjoyed adding this powerful technique that does not require words. Also really enjoying your book and the video odyssey on YouTube. Have spread around the joyful Sierra Leone tapping song, well done, and discovered the video explaining in Arabic that I was also able to share with mostly monolingual client. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, so I mean, if you start exploring the website, there are videos and our introductions, and also in other languages, as well as in the app, of course, which is in 27 languages that you can discover. But of course, with this video, it's good where somebody is explaining. I think there are actually even 2 videos explaining it in Arabic, which, because it's one that we did in Turkey with a psychiatrist, Dr. Abu Hilal, and his colleagues, and there's another one with one of our friends in Sweden, Nawar. So if you check out more, you will find one more even. Good. Wonderful clients. So yeah, so Tanya, who I was asking, who already did the certification, had to hand the laptop to the husband. She will catch up later. Okay. And then we got another one. I found interesting that the more I've talked about tapping to others, that some know about the technique, and it's been useful even for those who are under more stress in bigger business, etc. Oh, well, that's interesting. That was Suman also. And earlier I've tried with small group. It seems like the result has differed. Some got bigger result, others smaller. Yeah, so that is really how it is. That's how we say you can never, it all depends on where you are, or, we know that some can release a lot in a very short time, even in one of these sequences, and for others it's really peeling an onion. So that's really also our experience. It is very, very different. So that's why we never promise anything. It's just saying that you try it. It has helped many, and just do it. And like you said before, Katie, it is like sometimes if you just keep going, new things happen. I mean, just don't do it twice, but you continue and you can find. In teaching finger points, I've only one chance to share. I'm afraid they will not remember which side finger. Okay, to just squeeze this. It's like instead of tapping, squeezing. That's what I understand from you, Sadaya. Yeah, I mean, you try it if it works or not. Otherwise, it's just on the inside, and do it on both sides, or tap on both sides. It's just perfectly fine. And squeezing. I mean, I'm a shiatsu therapist, and there we do a lot of, this squeezing this. And I often do that also, actually, that I squeeze the fingers when I have done the tapping for somebody, because it is stimulating the nerves and the energy meridians and everything. So good.
Excellent. So a question, does anybody have any questions about the materials, about last training, about the certification process? We will have a Q&A question time at the end of this, so don't worry about that. But if there's anything you'd like to clear out of your head or your system before we start going into today's information, please just raise your hand or write it in the chat.
Mm-hmm. So we thought of starting with a video also, because I see also that our colleague in Rwanda has joined us. Are you there, Placide? I think I saw you there before. Yeah, he's there, Incubito Placide. Yes.
And we have 2 points to read there. Yeah, Placide, welcome. So from Suman, I found it difficult to engage people into the concept of tapping since it's hard to explain how it's helpful in a simplified way. Okay, so that's 1 point. Well, we can give you some simple explanations. We usually just say that we don't try to go so much into explaining the concept. We usually just say, this is a way of calming down your nervous system, and in 3 minutes, you will know if it works for you. Would you care to try? We find that easier than going into scientific reports or whatever, right? Could it be used with yoga? Absolutely. And it is a neat way. It can be used together with massage therapy. It can be used by a dentist and is used by dentists. So
yeah, sorry. Yeah, then we got this question from Gail, which is very good because we have really gone into this. Would you recommend doing this with people who are stressed with the current COVID-19 situation over Zoom with people who have no experience with tapping? Definitely. And what we really, I mean, for the stress of it, and what we really recommend you to do is one of the breathing exercises we will do today, to share that with people who get sick also, and also before you get sick, because you really, with this COVID, it has a lot effect, as you know, it creates from the virus a bacterial infection of pneumonia. And it's super important to do breathing, and it's good even to do it preventively before, so you're strengthening your lungs. Okay, so that is.
We also want to welcome Osaki from Nairobi, who has joined us. So hi, Osaki, great to have you here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also
should we do some breathing?
Yeah, I mean, we can do some breathing. You do some breathing, and then we go for the video after, the Nadine one that we do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So before we do the breathing, just a little short, so you understand that there is a neurology even to breathing. So when you breathe, what happens is when you breathe in, you activate the sympathetic nervous system. When you breathe out, you activate the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is the stress system, which activates adrenaline and cortisol and power. And the parasympathetic is the rest and rejuvenation. So at any time, regardless of how you breathe, if you breathe deeply so that you get air all the way down into your belly and carbon dioxide all the way out of your belly, and you make sure that you breathe in slightly shorter than you breathe out, you will be improving your status internally. So there's many different ways of breathing. The absolutely most simple one, we can just go through them one by one here, is just breathing in, counting to 5, and breathing out. So just breathe in and count to 5. And breathe out. And always give it at least 3 chances. Breathe in. And breathe out. So now what you've done is you started to control your breathing consciously. You're breathing with intention. You've become aware of the in-breathing and the out-breathing. So what we can do now is you can breathe in and then hold your breath and then breathe out. And then wait for a little while. Breathe in, hold your breath, breathe out. And wait for a while. Breathe in, hold your breath, breathe out. And wait for a while. So that's called box breathing. And when you breathe in and hold your breath, when you hold your breath on the in-breath, you are pressing more oxygen into your heart. So you're getting more oxygen in your system. And that's called the Starling effect after a doctor who discovered that. Then you breathe out and you wait for 4 seconds, which means that you are also allowing the system to relax on the out breath. So that's called box breathing, or 4-4-4, because you're counting 4 in, 4 hold your breath, 4 breathe out, and 4 hold your breath. So from there, Gunilla can take over and show the magnificent, even more relaxing 4-7-8 breathing.
Yeah, so there's another breathing exercise, and it's from another medical doctor. His name is Dr. Andrew Weil. He's from the US. There are also videos with him, and he has a website also. And he calls his breathing 4-7-8 because it has a different pattern of breathing, and the longer holding and the longer out breath. And the longer your out breath is, the more you will activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the relaxation. So he says in his video, this will help you if you have difficulty to fall asleep also, that you will sleep within 60 seconds or some minutes or so. But now don't fall asleep, because we're still going to be together for a while, but you can try it later. And I find it extremely helpful, this breathing. That is the one I do even now when I was sitting driving many kilometers. I do this just to to relax. So if we do it together, again, you sit up with your spine comfortably erect and your feet in the ground. So we always keep this position. That's also a good position for taking in information. So you breathe in, and the in breath will be with the nose. And to do it correctly, I mean, according to Dr. Weil, you put the tip of your tongue in the upper part of your in the upper part of your mouth. I don't know what you call gum in English. What's it? I only know the word in Swedish. Anyway, so you do that on the out breath. So you breathe in 4, and then you hold your breath 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and you breathe in 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then again you breathe in 3, 4, and then you hold your breath 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the last time you breathe in 2, 3, 4, you hold your breath 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you can just take some deep normal breath. Just observe again how it feels after this exercise. So those are all different breathing patterns. As you know, in many, like in yoga tradition, breathing is very central, and that is because it is something, it belongs to the autonomous nervous system that we do. Otherwise we would, die when we're in sleep, because we cannot breathe intentionally during the night. But it can also breathe, like Ulf said, with intention. And that is to do something different. Because when we are stressed, or also now for many of those who have become sick with the COVID-19, it is the breathing becomes too shallow. So there are too much carbon dioxide. Also that the small alveoles, the small guys who, take in the oxygen in the bottom of the lungs, in the third lobe that we call breathing with the stomach, but it's actually, of course, with the last lobe and the last part of the lungs that are stretching down. So it's very important to do this, and really to engage the whole system with this breathing. And that's why, we are coming back to this all the time with the breathing. That's why we have the breathing within the tapping. So we start with some breathing, we do tapping, we do breathing, tapping and breathing again, so that you stop being conscious of your breathing when you need to.
And you can also think about this. There are so many handles to the what we call the autonomous nervous system, and breathing is a fundamental one. There's a corona breathing right now, which is you take 5 deep breaths in a row, whichever way, and then you cough into your elbow really hard to get the bacteria out of the lower end of your lungs. And you're supposed to do this lying on your stomach. There is a video on that. we don't have to go through that here, but it actually, physically, it helps expel bacteria so it doesn't get down into the bottom of the lungs.
Yeah,
So,
and laying on the stomach is because the lungs expand on the back. That's why medical doctors, like the medical doctors we have here, they will, when doing the stethoscope, they will listen to the lungs on the back side, not on the front side, here where you listen to the heart, because the lungs expand on the back. That's why you should lay on your stomach when doing this corona breathing. Yeah, and breathing that way. Okay, any questions, just write them in the chat. Yeah, so it's the palate. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. The roof of the mouth or the palate. That's where the time should be. Thank you.
And because you're here on this very special occasion, we would like to add just a few more handles to the nervous system. So look straight ahead with your eyes looking into the webcam. Just sit straight and look straight ahead and breathe normally. And then allow your eyes to go into daydreaming gaze, where everything becomes blurry. That's called peripheral vision. So instead of tunnel vision, which is the way we look in a stressed state, you deliberately go and activate peripheral vision so that you can see more to the sides, kind of daydreaming. Kind of like when somebody starts to give you a lecture and you're thinking, yeah, but maybe nah, but you know. And there you go. And then you add this little tiny smile, and all of a sudden you will understand why Mona Lisa is painted the way she is. Sitting there hour after hour, somebody goes, don't move, don't move, don't move. And she's like, all right, daydreaming gaze, little smile, keep stress down. That's perfect. Excellent. There you go. So if you add this to the breathing, and now with your daydreaming gaze and your little smile, you go breathe in, count to 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale slowly. It might help to put a finger in front of your lips. Makes it easier to exhale longer. Or you can just purse your lips like you're blowing air into a balloon. Try it again, breathe in. And this time, try tapping on your chest.
Yeah, because that comes like answer to the question from Anna. What about clients who have constricted breathing due to stress that's not shifting quickly with tapping? I tell them to do as best as they can. Yeah, of course, without discomfort, but it helps to do tapping at the same time as, for example, this box breathing. We call it quick stress relief, like tapping on you. So we can do it also. So you keep tapping on your chest and then you breathe in. So it's 4, and then you hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, and then you breathe out. 2, 3, 4, and hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. And then again, you breathe in, 3, 4, hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, and then you breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold your breath, 2, 3, 4. And then now this last time, we'll add one more thing, and it's a tone. So you breathe in, while tapping, hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, and now you make a tone wherever you are, like.
And we'll do that one more time, and I will unmute everybody, and let's make this tone pretty together.
Okay, you hold your breath, and you breathe in. Somebody's coughing, that's very good. Breathe in. Hold your
Breathe
breath,
out with the
and
tone.
now take a tone.
Ja, ik heb een geïnteresseerd op het gebied van de vogelgriep, wat eigenlijk wat nu is gebeurd met het coronavirus. Daar is toen bang dat er een vogelgriep.
There. So that is a way of doing it, and this is actually also practice for singing, because it helps so much the voice also, because you're tapping on the chest. Then you're also tapping on the thymus gland, which is behind this sternum, this breastbone, which is very central in the immune system. So by stimulating that, you also stimulate your immune system. So it comes so much. You can add. That's why we we keep taking in things all the time. We don't just do tapping. If then somebody says something, so whatever you have that you find working, please let us know so we can, you know, combine things in this way. So breathing has so many components.
And another part of it is, if you're doing this with kids, it can become quite fun because you don't have to tell kids, now we're going to do this de-stressing exercise. You can just tell, let's see who can hold his breath or her breath. And everybody holds their breath. And after a while, you know, somebody will start smiling a little bit and they say, who can sound like a car longer than anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
And you go on forever. And, you know, it will be fun, it will be laughing, but you are also giving vibrations, which you do when you tone and when you do that sound, which is actually relaxing for the vagus nerve, which passes through here. So you're relaxing from the inside with vibration, which is part of why toning also works.
Yeah, so that is, I mean, toning and all this, I don't know, I mean, there's also the, what is very important when it comes to activating the parasympathetic nervous system, it is the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve in the body, called the 10th cranial nerve, that goes, of course, then from the back of your head down and connecting all the inner organs. And when you stimulate the vagus nerve, the parasympathetic, which means relaxation and more being together, is enhanced. And that is, among things, humming, singing, yoga, breathing, dancing, you know, all these things that makes us move and go into rhythm, that also helps the vagus nerve to sing very well. So the connection between the heart and the brain, between the guts and the brain, you know, that all these are stimulating. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
And Kathy says, I have a TBI client using toning and havening and breathing. I'll show her tapping too. And that sounds great. See, the thing is, you have to experiment a little bit with this because everybody's different. And we told you last time that the answer to almost every question you have is, it depends. You know, should I do this or that? Could I combine this or that? Well, it depends. You have to try it and see what the result you get is. What works in one case might not work in another. So maybe you should do havening, maybe you should do tapping, maybe you should do both. Maybe you should do the breathing. Maybe you should just take a break and give them a smile and a cup of tea and, you know, tell them gossip. Who knows what people need at every given moment? It's present.
Oh, or perhaps go for a walk. I mean, walking beside each other, or, you know, going for a drive, or whatever it's possible to do in this time. Or walk around in the apartment, opening the window, you know, smelling some flowers, like Suma was talking about, this aromatherapy. I mean, these things that makes us feel well. Everything is good. And so I was also asking if somebody tried it with the primal scream therapy. And it's so funny, I haven't heard of primal scream therapy since this, you know, the beginning of the 70s or something, when my brother went into this. So, but as Ulf says, yeah, if somebody's doing it, just try, you know, with tapping and do everything.
On the question about risk, would combining tapping to something ever create a risk? And again, Suman, I wish we will, if we can make the T-shirt, it depends, we will send one to you, because that will be the answer to all these questions. We have never run into tapping being a risk in any way. If you're tapping on a person that is sensitive, it might be unpleasant, but I cannot see how it would be a risk.
Mm-hmm. And Katie had an interesting question about another client, hates touch but can tolerate tapping, sexual abuse trauma. And this is also what we say, that again, this depends, because in some places, some societies, some communities, there is this concept, or this preconcept, I could say, that anybody who has been, you know, sexually abused would not tolerate touch, but that's definitely not the case. I mean, for us, we work so much with people who have survived sexual abuse, men and women and children and it depends. Some do, but few. So far, actually, I didn't meet anybody. And as you say that, Katie, that, you know, we could tolerate tapping, which is fantastic then, you know. And it is like, tapping is not, I mean, it's not touchy, it is like doing something, it's a treatment. And that's why also we say that with this havening, it's not being, you know, super soft, it's a stimulation of the nerve ends in the skin. So it's not very super soft, it is doing a treatment. So that is very important.
Yep, absolutely. So with all this and all that we've done up to now with the breathing, there's one more aspect in the book that you were sent after last time, our book Resolving Yesterday. The breathing exercise is called alpha theta breathing. Now, just a short explanation to that. We have brain waves. They are there all the time, okay? So even if you don't see them or hear them or never met them, they're still supposedly in your head. Now, the brain waves, they do different things and they have different speeds. Some are very fast, some are slow, right? Now, the science of brain waves is still out there. So there are claims that if you enhance this wave, it's good, or that wave is bad. And it's not that simple. It's like body language. You have to learn every person's, even if there are general things. But alpha is normal waking state, and theta is more of a daydreaming state than alpha, or some say beta is the normal waking state. But the point is, gamma is a really fast brain wave. It's excited when we have a spiritual experience or a traumatic experience. It does different things to the brain. Beta, waking state; alpha, slightly daydreamy; theta, more daydreaming and going into sleep; and delta supposedly is the one that creates a lot of calm when we're sleeping in deep sleep. Now, this isn't true because we put a cap on Ganila's head and measured these brain waves, and she activated delta waves like this in full waking state. So we've been discussing this with loads of people, and the way I understand it right now, correct me if you have other information, is that brain waves do different things, okay? And beta brain waves are activated when we fetch a memory for retrieval, and delta brain waves are there to mentalize or make sense of that. So alpha theta breathing, when we call it that, is because it's simply metaphorically or exactly, I don't know which, takes us from a higher waking state into a lower waking state. It activates a calm inside us, which is the theta brain. And that's why it's called that. Now, the reason this is interesting is because brain waves measured now can be done with consumer equipment, and there's a lot of debate about this. And the havening touch technique is also called delta wave depotentiation, because the whole science of havening is built on a delta brain wave causing a process that depotentiates a memory. We ascribe to all explanation models, havenings being one of them. And none is excluded because there are so many factors involved in healing. But that was just a short mention about that to put it on the map for you.
Yeah, great. So what do you think? Should we show Nadine? Is that a good time for it now?
I think this is exactly the time for Nadine.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
And we came to think about it since Jean-Paul, the friend of our colleague Placide, is also with us, and they are both in Rwanda, in lockdown in Rwanda. This little short video shows an interview that we like very much, because Nadine, who speaks very well. Let me try to share this with you. You see here.
And your mic has to be on, and it should be okay.
Yeah, and you see it now.
Imbabazi Nadina, ngewe aho namenyaniye na Sevota nungutse byinshi. Uyu mubyeyi Gunira yaraje atwigisha uburyo umuntu yivura ihungabana igihe yagize ibibazo bitarengeje urugero. Ubwo buryo bwangiriye akamaro. Nge ntarabonana nawe ngo anyigishe buriya buryo bwo kwivura. Yari umuntu mubi, agiraga umujinya cyane, agira ibibazo byinshi, ariko kuva aho namenyeye kwivura ibibazo byaroroshe, bijya gutya byaba indengakamere, tangira nkivura nkumva ndaruhutse. N'abana bo mu rugo narabibigishije, niyo nananiwe numva intege ari nkeya baramvura. Umutware w'iwanjye nawe nkamuvura, intege zabaye turavurana. Muri make y'umwitozo ngewe wambereye umuti. Hari benshi baza tukabavura, abiriya ruguru buri impamvu batamenye kwivura ni uko baza kwivuza, niyo mpamvu batamenye kwivura. bo barafatwa bakaza tukabavura ariko bo ntibavurana. Muri make uyu mwitozo ni mwiza, nashishikariza abantu benshi kuwiga bakawukoresha babyitayeho yuko ni ingirakamaro.
Murakoze.
Murakoze.
Yeah, so that is just one of all the people who we have met in different places. And the reason also for showing this is that because, as we told you last time, that our work started in Rwanda in 2007. So that has been the place. There's so many people have shared with us and given us the possibility of learn so much. And that's why we also have the word of Turikumwe as our leading word, which means we are here together. Like we are here together now. We are 60 people and we are doing this together and learning and from each other, which I think is the only way, because when we learn from each other, we get more. So it's not us just telling things, it is exchange constantly.
So Chris Barr is saying, with tapping without words, is it still important for the persons to be consciously aware of what is troubling them while tapping? Or are bad memories released over time simply by the tapping without having consciously tapped with the memories? So that's a great question. It's a key question. And you know the answer, it depends, of course. But if you want a more exact answer, it's this. If you do tapping, you will relax the nervous system. That's what will happen. If nothing is activated, nothing will be treated. It's like putting soap and water, but not putting your hands in there, right? So tapping is a relaxation, self-relaxation exercise, or helping somebody to relax their nervous system. If an emotion is activated, the neural circuit that activates an emotion, whether it's a memory or a thought or a signal or smoke or a fantasy or something you don't even know what it is, and you do tapping, then whatever that was, most probably will be resolved permanently, right? So the reason that there is the talking in EFT and TFT is that you want to activate the circuit and keep it in your mind, right? So that's fine, but not necessary. Because if the person just connects ever so lightly, we find that is enough. And also, it's for people who have a hard time to connect to their emotions, then you might need to activate it. But you don't need to keep it there. But keeping it there can have other effects, because what it will happen is that you're desensitizing yourself to saying it out loud or thinking the thought. So we're not saying it doesn't matter, but for what we do, for the main results, for getting a big effect for something that is actually causing trouble in your nervous system right now, you do not need to talk. There's one exception to that, of course, because it depends, and there's always an exception. If a person is in a loop in their head, maybe closing their eyes and going into this whole cinema of something traumatic, which is a flashback, then you might want to have them open their eyes and talk about something else, something distracting, which I think we did last time, counting backwards or just spelling their name or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just saw the question also from Katie, so but I don't know what implicit memory means, so you can take that one. My English doesn't reach that far.
Well, it's not the memory that is resolved. It is the connection between, in the amygdala, between the memory and the emotional response. So the memory stays. You don't forget the incident, but you resolve the reaction to the memory. Does that make sense?
Implicit, there is no memory of the story. Yeah, so I mean, it is also this, if I say it like that, it's a bit what we've already said, but this, that sometimes we just have a feeling of something uncomfortable. I mean, it's like, for example, waking up in the morning, feeling not comfortable for some reason. You have no idea what you dreamt. It's just something that is bothering you inside your body. For me, it often goes to the solar plexus. That's where I feel like, oh, uncomfortable. Without knowing what that is, I can do a tapping. Then I just focus on that uncomfortable feeling in my solar plexus, you know, or wherever it is, the headache or the breathing or So that is a way of, yeah, like an infant memory, but often it shows in one way or another that the stress shows in where, and when it's active, then doing the tapping will of course help, even if we have no idea what it is about.
Yeah, but I want to add to that. If you have a reaction to anything that was primed prior to that incident, then it is a memory. Then if that memory is implicit, or if it is something you are aware of or not aware of, there is always a connection. There's always some kind of priming moment when this stimuli was associated with danger. So even if it happened before you were born, and it's also shown that some of these actually can epigenetically be transferred from mother to child. That's how, I mean, we are born with certain hardwired reactions to open spaces, not getting air, being held in, creepy crawly objects, threats of all kind, airborne threats, groundborne threats. So we have all these warning triggers that have evolved over all these years.
There's also
the stimuli is, when it comes in, whatever triggers it, by calming the system down, you can resolve it.
Yeah, also the question from Daniela, I think it is what we meant by just doing the tapping. It is like when you have felt that tapping has helped you, when just being feeling stress, it calms and decreases the stress level. Exactly, it is like that, because then it is like we are active on that stress, and that will help and it will calm down. You know, it is a calming method. But if it's something specific that we get triggered by, then we have to activate that to be able to resolve that connection. Is that clear? Okay, very good. You wanted to ask Osoke something, was it that, to our friend in Kenya?
Well, I was just thinking, if we have these exclusive visitors that we know are using tapping in different places, it would be nice to just hear some experience. Same goes for Placid, who is our communications officer in East Africa, who has incredible experience, and maybe you have some questions for them. So I don't know, guys, if your mics are working, if your connection is good, and you're in a place where you can speak.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Ah, there you are.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I've been sharing tapping on the air, like calling people, and also people calling me back. We this month of April, it's a period of commemoration, and commemorating during the lockdown wasn't really easy.
And you have to explain what commemoration, but commemoration
Yeah.
of what?
Of genocide against the Tutsi in 1994. So many people tried to reach me, and also I tried to reach some friends and helping them with this tapping. And I was receiving some messages from different people telling me that thank you so much. It has been helping us to relax and to sleep and to connect as a family. So also we do it as a friends. Here is Dr. Jean-Paul. He's a medical doctor, so I do it together with him most of the time. He helps him also to relax. That's why even he's here today. Here is his son also. The small baby of 1 year, he's also doing it for himself. So it's really more fun and something to enjoy as family.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and Placid has been doing trainings all over East Africa for 3 years now, and we've been working together in many places. Lately, we were in Zimbabwe in January, and then he was here also doing trainings in Sweden in February before the corona started. And in Tanzania, you were also before the corona started. So, yeah, thank you so much, Placid.
One of my disciples is there, is Osoke.
Yeah, Osoke is one of your disciples, also from Kenya. Thank you so much. Now you're disappearing, so I'll mute you.
Thanks, Jean-Paul, for having for for helping Placid to reach us and for joining us. We appreciate that. Osoke came back in the waiting room, so he was throwing out some. I'm going to try to turn that room off. So if we don't hear you, Osoke, then you can try to mute yourself. If not, we'll just try later.
Yeah, you try now, Osoke. Seems no sound.
No sound. Okay.
Yeah, so there was also this comment from Daniela that they watched a movie some weeks ago where they used this tapping method against fear of flying. So it's spreading, and that's really true. And fear of flying and any kind of phobia, I mean, I can really recommend you to try it on that, because it's often it's resolved very easily. I have happened to sit beside people who have fear of flying when I have flown from one place to another. It's like the universe is pushing these people in front of me, without having the intention to do it, but we started talking about it. And one woman, she's a film director in Sweden, she was sitting beside me. She didn't believe in this at all. And actually, I only asked her, but if you want me to do something, I can just show it, you know, how you can do it. And she fell asleep and was, you know, sleeping in spite of the very, very bad flight. So it works fine. So just try it, you know, just try it and see what happens.
Yep.
Mm.
Excellent. Yes, Sarah. If you have a see, symptoms, they show up in 4 ways. When you're traumatized or stressed. Now, trauma is just a level of stress. So whether you're traumatized or stressed or whatever, there are 4 ways in which this is coded into your system, and there are 4 ways in which this can show up. So one is cognitive. It can show up in your thoughts. So in your cognition, in your thoughts, you can find thoughts that are triggered by whatever stresses you and start thought loops going, right? Okay. It can show up in your autonomous nervous system as reactions, like a twitching leg, or peeing yourself at night, or a twitching eye, or headache, or, you know, back pain, all kinds of autonomous, or chest pain, or palpitation, or, you know, brain fog. So cognition and autonomous nervous system. Then you have somatization, which is it becomes a physical symptom, you know? So it's like you get this back pain, which you go to see a chiropractor or a massage therapist for, but it was initiated not by something physical, but by something maybe traumatic or stressful. So CASE is the acronym for this: cognitive, autonomous, somatic, and the E stands for emotional. So any emotion that shows up as a result of something stressful or traumatic, anything somatic, anything autonomous nervous system reactions, or cognitive. Those are the 4 things that are signs of stress and trauma that have been permanented in your system. And those are the 4 things that can be resolved.
Do we show the voices from India also? What do you think?
Yes, I think we should.
Yeah, so let's do that. And this is another, we were in India some years ago, and we met some colleagues there, and these were the comments. This is one of Placid's favorite videos, so I thought I'll show them to you guys also. Voices here, let's see. Mm-hmm.
I'm Vani. I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm practicing in New Delhi, India. So I learned an amazing technique from Ulf, Frederick, and Gunilla, and it's trauma tapping, wonderful. And I would want to teach to many more people and keep doing it to myself. So it's a beautiful technique.
Hello, my name is Nitya. I'm from Kerala, settled in Bangalore. I came here to present a paper on hypnosis and how it worked with fading vision with my grandfather. And I happened to attend this session, which was amazing. It was really out of the world, because that's really something I haven't seen anywhere. Because I felt this was something that can connect to anybody, any age group, belonging to any background. There is no barrier of language, time, because most of the other methods, when you want to help somebody, they have a lot of problems with connecting with the person because of language, sometimes even because of the time. So this is really amazing. It can be done in any way. I love to play it as a game with children. I'd love to play it. Because I sing, so I'd love to introduce music into it and really spread this message wherever I go. And I've decided I am going to. And I guess you must also try it out. It will really, really change your life. Thank you. The method is the tapping technique. That's right. Hello, I'm Dr. Manisha. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm from Chandigarh, India. So I've had almost 8 to 9 years training of science and almost 7 years training in psychiatry. I've been using so many drugs, so many medicines, and treating my patients for so long, but I really wanted to learn something which was not medicine, something else, verbal, more communicative, to help my patients, because in psychiatry we have so many patients who are having so many difficulties, maybe not treatable enough with drugs. So I came up in this conference, and here I met these people, Ulf and Frederick and Genelia. They teach you something which is so practical, easy to learn, easy to teach, easy to do with patients. And I really found it very effective. The tapping technique, which is helpful in so many conditions, like if somebody has abused you, you have some tensions, you have some anxiety, some bad past memories. They help you calm down, they help you relax, they help you get rid of it if you do it regularly. And some hypnotic techniques like fast induction techniques, which are effective if you do them repeatedly. At least I found them effective. So with my medicines and with these techniques, I think I can help my patients better. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I see it's getting dark here. So I'm just going to put on the lamp and I'll be back in 2 seconds. Will you take it, Ulf?
Absolutely. So as you can see, we have lots of videos on the website. They're all free. You can use them any way you want. You can share the material. What we do is we call it open source. So it's there to help. And you find it on peacefulheart.se, peacefulheart.se. You got it in the mail afterwards. There are videos of all these techniques. There are materials for training. We want you to be able to reach out. We want you to be able to use this in your community, to dare to try it and pass it on or pay it forward, right? Yes, and we also call it, like Anthony says, we call it tension tapping. If we do this in places where people are traumatized and we come saying, we want to show you tension tapping, they're going to go, yeah, right. Save that for a rainy day because we're traumatized. But if you come to people who are in my part, Sweden, and you tell them, we're going to show you trauma tapping, they're going to go, oh no, not trauma. That's for people who are in a war. I'm just a little bit stressed. And to be honest, neurologically, inside the nervous system, it's the same mechanisms. I think it would be fair to say that every single person in the world has some kind of traumatization, some kind, to a certain degree. Even if it's just putting your hands on a hot stove or something, because that's how we save our lives. Post-traumatic stress is a reflex to help us to avoid dangers in the future that we have experienced in the past. And sometimes that alarm gets hooked so that we need to be able to resolve it because it's triggering too much. And that's when trauma tapping works fantastically. So we'd like to show you a technique we promised you last time, but we didn't show you. It's a cliffhanger that's been out there all along. What do you say, Gunilla? Is it time for the TAT?
Yeah, the TAT, or at least a simplified version of it. So I was just checking here also what Anthony was writing, or did you read it while I was, out? No, the answer to Gail, I've explained, what to say, I explained TTT and helped people over Messenger over the last weeks. it works very well. I have also tapped with neighbors over the garden fence and sent videos explaining it.
That's the spirit.
To the children and parents in the school where I work. Wonderful, Anthony. And they have all managed to follow along. There is no lack of willing participants at the moment. I have called it tension tapping rather than trauma.
We talked about the tension tapping. Basically.
Yeah, that's what you talked about. Yeah. So that's great, Anthony. That's exactly the kind of spirit that we love. It is like, you know, you do it, you learn something, you try and see what happens, you know. We had the training the other day, and during the training when we had the break, one of the participants, she went out in the rehab where she was working and shared the tapping with some of those guys who were staying in the place, and came back after 10 minutes saying, wow, it works. You know, it's like, so it is like that. Nothing bad can happen, you know. But of course you shouldn't jump on people and say, oh, let me do this. It's always like that, especially now in these times. We of course do it distantly. So we have done a tapping actually video that we can send you that is specifically for those who do not want to touch even their face, even if they wash their hands or use hand sanitizer. I can never learn that. What do you call it? Hand sanitizer? What do you call it? Sanitizer. Now I got hand sanitizer. And so we have made a video with the tapping version without touching the face. So we can send you the links to that. Yeah, so the TAT, it's what we call the head holding. Was there something else you want?
Let's just go to the head holding. We can go with the comments later.
Yeah, so there's another technique that we also add, and we have, I mean, I've done the training with, perhaps some of you know, Tapas Fleming, who created the TAT, Tapas acupressure technique. From this, we made a simple version, since we love simplifying things so that people can remember, because the TAT is a beautiful one. You can also go to her website, which is called like this, www.tatlife. It is called .org, I think it is, or .com. There you can see the whole concept of the TAT and find courses. But the simplified version is just like this. You can do it together with me. It is putting one hand on the forehead, meaning also, again, stimulating the frontal lobe, and the other one on the back of the head. So the thumb will be under the skull and the rest of the hand on the back of the head here. You should see it like this. And then you just sit like this for a while. And you can also do like what you call pressing, like compressing the head a little bit with your hands, like how do you call this kind of movement? Press and release a bit. Press
Pulsating.
And release. Yeah.
Pulsating a little.
Pulsating, exactly.
Yeah.
Pulsating a bit. Thank you. So it's like, and you can do it also on in breath. You know, it is like, and then out breath, releasing and breathing in. So we're coming back to this breathing again and breathing out. And again, breathe in and breathe out. And then you can just sit a bit like this. And when you have, you know, somebody that in these times that you can hold on to, you can do a bit like Placid was doing before on this little boy. I mean, so that's what we do it in usually when there is no touch restrictions. You will do this on somebody else, and somebody will do it for you. So that is something. Okay. So this is very good for migraines, very good for headaches, very good for people who are in panic, because this is like holding the thoughts or holding the rushing of the feelings a bit, because, you know, this is very comforting to hold the head like that when somebody, you know, will accept it. And now you can do it also in bed. When you're laying down on your pillow, you can hold like this and process things. Just let your thoughts come. So that is head holding.
Yep.
And thank you, Ken, for correcting it. It is tatlife.com. Thank you so much.
So why don't we try this together? Has everybody done this?
Yes, everybody has done it.
But have you tried it the
No.
complicated way?
No, it's not a complicated way, but that is the way that Tapas does it now. More, it is like, yeah, so you put the thumb and the ring finger very, very lightly on the upper part of your nose, and then this long finger just here between the eyebrows, what we call the third eye in some traditions. And still the same with the back of the head. You have the thumb under the skull and the rest of the hand on the back of the hand.
And can
So
I
that,
show something here? Pardon if I butt in, Gunilla.
You're so welcome.
These two fingers here, this is a lot of nerve endings here at the base of the nose. So many. Try holding as soft as possible, so you're basically almost not touching, right? Really, really soft, like an eyelid. So let your finger lie like an eyelid here at the base of the nose, where you basically have the tear channel a little bit. And then you put this finger in the middle. And if you do this and close your eyes, it can, for some people, be really, really comforting, just that light touch. And when you take your fingers away, whether you do this for yourself or somebody else, let go so slowly so you almost don't notice when the fingers have let go. So try letting go so slowly so you almost don't notice that you've let go until you've let go. I find that to be an extremely pleasant experience. And you know, I helped my mother. She had a headache for 3 weeks when she was going through cancer treatment. They couldn't stop it in any hospital or any medication. We did this. I did it for a while, almost 10 minutes, quite a long while, but it disappeared completely. So.
Yeah, it is very powerful, and it's very simple. Placide and myself, we have done it in the prisons in Rwanda, and they did it very beautifully. They were sitting 2 and 2 before COVID, and holding each other's head at the same time. It was like, wow, that was really powerful. So that is, I feel like it made my eyes feel a bit less strained too. Exactly, says Suman, which is because these points, and that's what Tapas says, and also, I mean, in the acupuncture science, because Tapas is originally an acupuncturist, these are very strong eye points that are here, the ones that we are using. And on the back of the head is the center of the vision. So it is like connecting, and she calls it like giving new, what you call it, new, looking at things in a new way, like connecting these, because you know that the hands and the whole body is electric. So it is actually sending also energy through the head, and the nerves of the eye is very, very, very powerful, and goes right through the whole of the brain back to the eye vision center on the back of the head. So this is a powerful treatment that you can use, and very, very gentle.
Yeah. So we have 20 past 9. We have 10 more minutes, and I think we would probably what do you say, Gunilla? Can these people certify themselves?
I mean, that's what I said already before, that one of the participants who had to leave, Taya, she did the certification just the other day. I sent her the certificate. So if you tell about the certification process, we can encourage everybody here present to do it. Because it's on, it's you. Yeah, there you see, Anthony. Yeah, great. So Anthony, can you just unmute yourself and say a bit about the process?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm on my husband's computer and my video is not working, and I'm a bit of a nightmare tonight.
No problem.
Yeah, the process was relatively painless. The tools and the information on the website is amazing, and it's really easy to get people to go along at the moment, because everybody wants a bit of relief. So it's quite easy to get your case studies. I've done way more than 6.
Yeah, good.
And no, everybody really got a good feeling from it. So it's been great. So thank you both.
Yeah, I mean, that was great, because you really took on and did it. So it's 24 questions about a bit about trauma and things that you find in the PDF of our book. And then it's 6 cases, just like you did. And some will make more that you document a bit before what they come with, and make a SUD. I think we explained it last time, this subjective units of distress, that you ask the person to, like we did in the beginning today, with the in the beginning before doing the treatment, asking from a scale of 0 to 10, you know, where you are, and then in the end, so there will be a before and an after, and then the reflections from the person and from you as the giver of the tapping. So that is beautiful that you did that, and then you will get a certificate from us. And if you like, and as I asked you, if you want to be posted on our website, we need the presentation and the photo, and you join the rest of us who are certified ourselves in the TTT. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. That's lovely, and thanks for taking on. That's good. So that is the certification process, and it is so far for free. I mean, sometimes we will, what you say, not drag. I mean, that will take us a bit time, because it's also we want to read what you have written, and sometimes a comment about the things that have happened. But sooner or later, and please remind us if it takes time, just write an email again saying, hello, how did it go with our certificate, with my certification?
Sometimes we're busy doing webinars, and then we don't answer emails.
Yeah.
So we didn't bother about going into breakout rooms on this one, because you've been in breakout rooms, and the technique in itself is so very simple. You activate the emotional component somehow. You ask somebody, can you connect to it ever so lightly? Then you ask them from 0 to 10, how much is that? And then you provide tapping, either surrogate on yourself, or they follow you, or you do it on them if it's family and you feel safe touching them. If the face is something that isn't appropriate, then tap more on the body. Make sure that you have at least 5 minutes of tapping. Afterwards, you check the SUD again, and then we usually ask the questions in this order. And this is also, it depends, but we usually say, what do you notice that is different? Instead of saying, was it good or bad? Because what do you notice means they have to reflect and go inside and really feel. And then when they say, you know, it's lighter, it's stronger, it's lower, it's blue, it's red, it's moved, you can just ask, is that good or bad? Because we don't presuppose that a change necessarily is to feel a lot better. Sometimes behind sorrow, there is anger. Behind anger, there is frustration. Behind frustration, there could be peace. And then you ask, do you want to continue? And if they say, no, I'm fine. Even if they're at 4 and they say, I'm fine, you just say, fine. Because some people want to keep that 4, because it allows them to keep their identity, keep their vigilance, keep whatever. You know, some things take time. And after that, we always end by shaking hand or high-fiving or COVID elbowing and saying, congratulations.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's how we do it. So it's, you know, you can do it. And like, I see now that, that Anthony was writing this, that you can look on the website. Yeah, so on the website, there is everything about the certification also. Yeah, what else? And there are some few minutes left. So what do you think? Any other question?
Yes, Placid?
Yes, like when it comes like to ask, I really like the way you brought it out.
I think it's better if you write that in
You
the
hear
chat.
me?
Placid, we don't hear you.
No, it's breaking up. Write it. Can you write it in the chat?
Okay. Yeah. I can.
If the person is willing, says Maria Savidaki, to continue, how many times should we do the process? And you know the answer, Maria. 2 words, it depends. But you can go through for as long as they want. We usually ask each other, Gunilla taps me, I tap Gunilla, because we both need to release tensions working with this. So, you know, you do a round and then you say, would you like another one? So yeah. Just be like a good waiter at a cafe. When somebody has a cup of coffee, you say, would you like another one?
Yeah, yeah, that is the good. I mean, both this, it depends, and also this, that constantly asking, because it's always the other person who is the boss, who decides what to do and how much, and asking, is this good or bad, or, you know, it is like, oh, let's do it again together, you know. So So that is it. Yeah, that's great.
Yes, you can enhance a feeling. You can tap on the good feeling. Because the thing is this, it depotentiates bad connections, but it doesn't ruin good ones. So, oh no, I tapped on a good feeling. It went away. That doesn't happen, right? So you can tap on a good feeling, and what you're actually doing is you're anchoring with hypnotic language or NLP. You are layering or associating that good feeling into the tapping. So the next time you're doing tapping for something that is not as pleasant or fun, you're actually getting a benefit from having done that earlier.
Mm. Yes, then it's the question whether you can watch these videos, these webinars afterwards for somebody. And the question is yes.
Yeah, but the question was, can you do that and then just get certified?
Yeah.
We'd like to meet you once. We like to have seen your face and know who you are. You can say, I was in this webinar. We know if you asked a question or what that was or where in the world, because that way we can maintain a relation, because we believe strongly that we can actually have a relation with every single person in the world. And you're one.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually we have connection with very many people. So that is good. So the question is if we'll do this in the future. Yes, we will, plan for some more webinars, definitely, and do our best to have them regularly. So that is, that's the answer.
Yeah, this is thanks to Frances Lamb in New Zealand, because she initiated this whole thing for the Haven Kiwis. So we thank you for that. And the time zone is also, in this case, we set it up so that the time zone would work helpfully in both New Zealand and Sweden. So it's Monday for a lot of you, and it's Sunday for a lot of us. And that just shows you how this world works.
Great. So, one night after. Yeah.
So how does the tapping to reinforce a positive work? Like I said, Chris, when you tap on a negative, you're actually calming down the system, right? So the effect of tapping is to calm down the sympathetic response, which is related to stress. Now, if you have a good emotion and you de-stress, it's not going to take away the good one. It's just going to still take away the stress, but the good emotion is still there. So what tapping does is it decreases the stress response, but it doesn't decrease positive response. Does that make sense? So how many from New Zealand are we here? I'm curious. Could somebody from New Zealand raise your hand? Angela, you're from New Zealand.
And Romy and Karen.
Yeah, and Janine. Lots of you. Yeah, there you are, Kiwis.
So can't you all write before we finish? From New Z, but not in New Z. Oh, yeah, Anna. Yeah, we know Anna from New Zealand, but in UK. So can't you just? I mean, because I'm this kind of geography. I love geography. You're in Albania now. Okay. So can't you all type which country you are in now in the chat before we finish? While we are finishing, please write where you are.
Yes, wonderful, beautiful. Keep doing that. Oh, this is exciting.
Great.
Imagine. So if you have any questions, you just send us an email. If you have any opinions or reflections or questions, or just want to stay in touch, or you want to start a project in your community, send us a mail.
Great. Yeah, and I think also, and then we have, so this is fantastic. So we will send you the link, and we will send you some material. And if it's something specifically you want, just drop us an email. It is very easy. info@peacefulheart.se, which is the best one. Best.
Will you send us a link to this recording?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
We will have it. And the best email address for us is the one called info@peacefulheart.se, because it goes to both of us. Makes it better, probably, that one of us are more fast than the other one in answering. So,
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Kia ora for everything.
Could you all do me a favor? Those of you who have muted your cameras, if you can turn them on just so we can take a little picture, we will remember your face. And if you can't turn it on, that's fine. All excuses are good. But just, there are 3 pages of us. So what I'll do is I'll just go through these pages and take a picture of each, so that maybe when you send us an email or meet us in the street somewhere, you're gonna say, I'm Janine, I'm Carl, I'm Deb, I'm Simon, I'm Nicholas. I'm the one who stole my husband's computer. Here we go. Wave your hands happily. Here's the first one. Wave your hands happily. Here is the second one. And now the third group, of course, has to excel and be better than everybody else. So do it loudly. There you go. And you have no idea which group you were in, so I fooled you all along. But that's great. We have 3 fine people.
Yes. So Daniela was asking if there is a keeping contact afterwards for the group, like a TTT group or Facebook or something.
Good point.
Good point.
Thank you for that. We are lousy at that. You know what? Why don't we start a Google group and we add everybody here to it. If you want to jump out of it, you just opt out of it. But we will keep adding people there so that we can have this forum where we can exchange ideas. And the good thing with Google Groups is if you don't want them, you just click in the bottom and say unsubscribe and you're not there anymore. Is that okay? Not if it's okay. Yeah. I can't see you anyhow, so I take that as an okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was a final question also from the technique of tapping involves the chest, which is the front part, and there should be the part of the lungs which expand on the back. Yeah, so do tapping on the back also. That's good. I often do that. I mean, like bending forward and tapping on the back of the lungs, and also do some massage for your kidneys, which also are very important to keep in good shape. Very good. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
For showing up.
Thank you.
Keep spreading it. Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Say what you want.
Thanks very much.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. This was great. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you so much.
Stay great. Stay even greater.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Au revoir. Don Nana.
I like this. It's cool.
Au revoir.
All right. I'm going to turn this off. Well, I'll turn the recording off.